serving up a warm dish of the Triad's culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is The Man Who Ate the Town.
Hey, folks, and welcome to episode 161 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of July 20th through the 26th, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And I'm Leah Metz.
And we are opening the recipe box. We are recording this episode.
It's open now.
It's open now. The Man Who Ate the Town in my house. We are practicing social distancing using Zoom, sponsored by Bull's Tavern. First off, I want to wish Street Team Steven a happy birthday. It was actually yesterday, but still, it's been a while since Steven and I have actually had a chance to sit down and try new food, talk, and just hang out. So hopefully we will do it soon. And so he's either been traveling because his job takes him to Israel a lot, I think it is, and I know they've been doing some stuff here because travel is not fun for anybody right now. And but yeah, Steven, happy day after your birthday. I wished him happy birthday yesterday. I just want to make sure I mentioned it today.
Well, we just want to mention the street team too.
That's right. Street cool team. People. We miss our street team. We need more activity from them, but we all need activity right now. The Chiang Mai Thai restaurant, say that real fast, Chiang Mai Thai restaurant, finally made an update to their Facebook page. What? Okay. They actually just updated their profile picture. No actual post since March 17th. Had I not called them just a few months back, we'd not have any status on them at all. They are doing stuff, but they surely don't like people to know it. So,
secret.
Yeah.
Secret.
Wow. Why would they not tell anybody what they're doing? I wonder sometimes why don't you tell people? I mean, if you don't tell them, they're not going to show up.
Well, I think that's a point of contention with a lot of restaurants in this town, and
yes.
The sole reason that we formed Beeman Metz Media.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, too many of them have the mistaken idea that just because they put a sign out front that says open, people are going to come in.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I want to come in? Tell me why, and I'll come.
Yeah.
But tell me why I want to come. If it's just randomly stopping in, most of us don't go to restaurants like that.
Nope.
We have our core of restaurants that we go to on a frequent basis. Mm-hmm. If you're going to break into that cycle, you better give me a reason.
Right. Yeah. And show me something, because we eat with our eyes first.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to see what's going on there. You know, it could, if they were waiting on food bloggers like myself to go in there, I've not seen a reason to go in there yet. So if I go in there and I'll start promoting it if I like what I have, but I am not going to make a special trip unless I know what I'm getting into. Now, that's not always true. Sometimes
or maybe if they're like really, really crazy and invite you.
Yeah.
Why don't you come in and let's sample a wide variety of the menu instead of just one or two dishes.
Yeah.
And see what we've got to offer, and then talk about that. And we'll give you the meal for free.
Such a novel idea, isn't it?
Oh.
It is. And, truthfully, the restaurants that have said, you know what, that makes sense. Let me do that. I know several of them have reached out to you to coordinate it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you do know who the community is that needs to come. But, man, they get so much publicity on the other side of that. And you can't tell me that they didn't see a corresponding bump in sales.
Exactly.
And you can't tell us that we don't like to eat. I mean.
No, you may not say that about us. Call us what you will, but don't say we don't like to eat.
That's right.
I'll try later.
We're all in the choir right now.
And on the other side, that we check out the Facebook pages because we old and we cranky. And if you have a band there at a restaurant and we know it's too dang loud, we ain't coming. I love that places are incorporating bands or music.
But
if I can't hear myself think about what I'm tasting because the music is so freaking loud, we just don't go. So,
and some people love that kind of
they do
more party atmosphere, and it's being a lot more noisy, and they're really not going there to talk. It's more about hanging out and having a drink, and maybe we get a bite to eat while we're doing that, and then listening to some music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to spend an evening, but not when you're trying to have just a meal with a couple of people and you want to talk.
Yeah.
So anything that they do is going to narrow or broaden their potential audience, even down to what kind of food are you serving.
But the idea is be more informative, regardless of what it is.
Yes. Post away, people.
Please. We want to know. I mean, truthfully, we've all seen something that said, oh, that looks like something I would like. And we go and we try it.
Yeah. Again, we eat with our eyes first.
It's a funny thing. It works.
Mm-hmm.
This whole industry of advertising and marketing continues because there are those who get it and those who, need help getting.
Yes. Well,
yes.
I don't have any true updates on Cibo Trattoria. They did change their Facebook back to Trade Street Diner for whatever reason. I know that they said they were going to make their own page, but I haven't found it so far. Now, I reached out to the Trade Street Diner page, and this is what the response I got. Yes, I apologize. Our social media coordinator was supposed to create a new Facebook and Insta page for Cibo and just change the name of Trade Street, which created confusion. We are closing down Trade Street account and creating a new Cibo account. And I said, okay, just keep me updated so I can promote whatever I can, But I don't have any, the things I talked about last week. There is no updates on any of that. I haven't heard anything else. I truthfully haven't gone digging for anything else.
And they hadn't posted anything else on the Trade Street, not the Trade Street Diner page, that now says Cibo's on the top of it instead of Trade Street. So there's no post other than that one from 5-6 days ago.
Yeah. But it's now back to Trade Street Diner.
And see, here again, another huge mistake where they could have been actually putting actual information out instead of us going, well, we don't know what they're doing. They're doing this stupid thing. We could have been saying, what it says on August 17th, they're going to be open. And here's some of the new menu items that are going to come. And man, they really look good. And I like the mixed drinks that they're going to be. Just tell people what you're doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For instance, like West End Coffee House.
What's happening with West End Coffee House?
She now has popsicles. Which is brilliant for this heat we're having this week. Yes. And
did we just say something about coffee?
We did say something about coffee. But so don't go there for the coffee this week because it's hot.
Popsicles.
But popsicles, go there for some popsicles because she is making them.
What a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they got like sprinkles and things on them, so that makes them
the affogato flavor. Affogato flavor, key lime, avocado, tomato sandwich. Some people probably like that a lot. But strawberries and cream, banana pudding. Wow, so many flavors and so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sounds like fun,
right? So yeah, she's got popsicles. I mean, the pie she makes, that's pretty good stuff right there. So I can only imagine these popsicles. I'll probably Wear a dark shirt when you eat them because you'll end up getting some on the front of you.
It hides a little better in the dark shirt.
It does hide a little bit better. And then the only other thing I have is the West End Public House, where you go and get some brew, some beer, or some wine. That they now have coffee. So if you do want some hot coffee, I'm sure they might have some cold coffee. But Say So Coffee is now going to be operating out of the West Salem Public House. So you can go get that. I don't know if anybody ever knows that their logo had a beer mug, a beer bottle, a wine glass, and then there was a coffee cup. And so now they have fulfilled the coffee cup end of their logo. So
We're left wondering for a year, why is there a coffee cup? Now we know. It's part of the plan.
Yeah.
part of the plan. So yeah.
So they have bottles
your-
and wine glass and a beer mug and a coffee cup, and they're just now. Okay, I get it. Now they're putting the stuff in there.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
apparently, Say So had a soft opening this past weekend within the West Salem Public House. I don't see an update since then to say how it went, but yeah.
It should again. They more frequent updates. Information is very important.
But people talk about what's happening
Yeah.
instead of wondering. That's all we're talking about is what we're wondering about.
Yeah. This is all conjecture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Cugino Forno is nearing completion on their new Clemens location.
Oh,
Ooh,
Yeah, the sign went up
That's
this
some-
week.
that's some good pizza. And then their salads. Their salads are like huge. And they're pretty good. I mean, they're delicious.
What's a salad?
Somebody who, well, and that's what I'm struggling a little bit, but yeah, what is a salad? But if you want a big salad, go there and get it. Mel usually gets a salad and I eat pizza.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
of course, they're not going to have Incendiary next door in Clemens.
No.
Right, that's true. That's true. Well, that's all I have for current event news about things going down here in WSNC.
You had one other update, didn't you, Leah?
I got one other. So I went and because Tim, I'm mad at you. I'm just very mad.
Why?
Well, it's all your fault that I have to check the M's through the Z's, because then I have to see all these bakery places with their delicious cakes. And cake was eating me last weekend. I had to go get some cake. It's all your fault. So
He'll take that.
I'll take it.
you'll
way.
take that.
Yep.
He'll take that one.
All right, then.
All right. So I went over to the Sweet Truth, which is on Farmall Road, and
Where is that?
buzzed in there.
I was going to say, where is that? It sounds familiar.
You go up 52, and you're going to get off at the 25th, 26th, 28th Street
Yeah.
exit.
25th, 28th. Yeah.
Yeah. And you go up underneath the bridge, and then
Go up Liberty.
so you take a left there at the light. I don't know what the street that is right
Oh,
now.
okay.
You can't ask me these things. But you take a left and go back underneath 52, and then it's the first left. And she's got a purple building with some art on it. Small space, but ooh, that cake.
That's the good stuff right there.
And
That
because
cake.
for
Get
4
in my
months,
belly.
get in my belly. For 4 months, I've been looking at this cake. I had to get 3 pieces of cake. Probably should have gotten 4, but one for each. Blood. So, Miss Faith cooks over there, is the baker. And so we're going to have her on in a couple weeks to talk about the sweet truth. And so this morning, because, Monday's horrible day, I did not eat all 3 pieces of cake on Friday.
Impressive self-control.
Right?
Really? I wouldn't have been that good. I might have made it to Saturday morning. Maybe.
You might have.
Maybe.
Well, I'm good at rationing, so I did stick them in the freezer, but I did, as my breakfast this morning was, because it makes sense on Monday, was a cup of coffee with a piece of the red velvet cake. And my Monday's been delightful.
Red velvet cake is my favorite cake.
Mm.
Well, let me just tell you, it was good, and it was a big old slice, like not those skinny slices that you get when somebody's on a diet, whatever.
Nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. This piece, let's just say it was bigger than my coffee cup.
That's saying something.
It is saying something. And it was pretty good. And it had that, you know how those red velvet cakes can sometimes, it has like a brown red, and you're kind of like,
well, basically, isn't red velvet cake basically chocolate cake with food coloring?
With red food coloring. Yep.
Mm-hmm. It is. But I don't know how she does it. And it was a kind of a bright red, but it was, it didn't taste like food coloring. It tasted like deliciousness.
I got a shload of deliciousness.
We may have to make a road trip.
You might I would say you do. So she's not open on Mondays or Tuesdays. Sorry for all those people listening right now. But the Wednesday on, she's open at 12 noon. So you can go get your lunch as a piece of cake. She has multiple flavors and cupcakes and all that. But we'll get her to talk about that in a couple of weeks. But I just have to say that was some good stuff this morning.
I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the story.
Yeah.
You'd mentioned something before we got started about Tenoshi.
Oh, yeah. So Tenoshi's, they are closed. I'm not sure if it's just for today or a couple days, but they are, they're a little bit limited on staff. And it said something about some of their staff were going and getting tested. And I assume that's for COVID-19 reasons. I'm pulling up the post here right now. So
I'd say at this point, that's the most likely.
Yeah. Well, they took that part off about the going and getting tested. So, but they are going to be closed. It says they'll reopen on the 23rd. So just FYI.
All right. That's, yeah. So at least they're taking care of it, doing what they got it to do.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a tough call to decide whether you're going to shut down or you're going to stay open.
Yeah, it is a tough call.
Yep.
And there's plenty of places that are looking for employees. I noticed that today as I was going through the list that there were places just looking for staff. So if people are looking for work, there's definitely a bunch of restaurants that need some staff.
So if you know somebody that needs a job that's got restaurant experience, I'm sure they would prefer somebody that has experience doing that. Then send them to the list to find the places that need employees.
This would be a great time to jump up. If you work in a restaurant, better the quality of the restaurant that you're working for.
Yep.
especially as wait staff. I mean, when you're working for tips, the better the restaurant, obviously, the better you end up doing. So, yeah, I mean, we've all seen it. It's not always the best or most qualified that get the job. It's the available.
Yeah. And, that's before this pandemic even hit. I am not throwing anybody under the bus here. This is not what I mean by this statement that I'm going to make, but I think we had gone through a bit of, what's the word I'm looking for?
That's a really good question.
Well,
we can't get in there to find.
I know.
It could be any word you did.
I'm afraid. I'm really afraid.
I need to spit it out so you can read
Let
it.
me get my dictionary out.
Point to a word.
You still have one of those?
In fact,
when complacency, we had gotten to a point of complacency where people are just like, all right, whatever. And if they did a good job, that was really on them. If they did a sucky job, that was also on them. And people were used to it. And they're like, well, the service sucks, but the food's pretty good. The heck with that. Why can't we have good service and good food? Mm-hmm. Heck, you can have bad food and good service and people will go back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and there's a couple places that we go to that the food's okay. There's nothing to write home about, but dang, if they don't know our name and what types of drinks we like, and they're spot on the service. And so, I mean, that means a lot to us as well.
We went to pick up food at a Mexican restaurant here in town. And I walked in and they're like, oh, you're here for a takeout order. I'm like, this can't be the first time you've ever had a takeout order. The hostess says, well, walk with me. And so I follow her to the very back of the restaurant to this table by the kitchen door, and there's nothing on the table. Oh, your food's not ready. Hold on. And then she walks into the kitchen. And I don't see her again for like 3 minutes. And then I see her coming out the other side of the kitchen, back up to the hostess stand. And I'm still standing back here. I'm like, wait, what? And so I go back to the hostess stand. She says, oh, your food's not ready. Okay. So then she comes over a couple minutes, like, follow me. So I follow her back to the same table. Now there's a bag. I was like, well, where's the check? I'd like to go ahead and, pay for this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to eat. So can I pay for this and I can go home? Hold on. She goes back into the kitchen and disappears again. So I grab the bag of food and I walk up to the front. And the manager comes up and says, well, what can I do? I said, I just want to pay for my food. That's not your food. She said it was my food. It's not, sir. That's another order. Okay, well, have it back. All I've done is touch the handle and done anything else to it. A couple of minutes later, finally, mine comes out. Somebody had given me a gift card, so I handed him the gift card. And there's still a little more on top of that. He disappears into the back, comes out, brings me a receipt for the balance. I'm like, here's my credit card. Why didn't you take that to start with so you didn't have to make 2 trips to go back to the kitchen? So I'm still standing here while he walks back to get an actual receipt that I can sign off on, and now I can leave. Another restaurant that we went to the next day, ordered it online, pulled into the parking lot, called, says, I'm here. Oh, be right there. Walked out. I was in and out of the parking lot in 2 minutes. I'm like, come on now. Talking about the whole issue of service. It's the attitude. It's what are you taking into your work? Are you just there to collect a paycheck? Or are you there to actually do this job and do it well? So it's kind of my point to these restaurants is, yeah, we've had a big shakeup, and maybe you've had some people on your staff, to Tim's point, that have gotten complacent. They're kind of stagnant. here's the time to bring in some of that fresh blood, because there are people that do get excited about being in a restaurant. And to your point, Leah, there are places that we go back. Arriba Villa out there on University across from the Coliseum.
Yeah.
We will go back there because every time we go in, the service is great. They're just so kind to us. We have a genuinely a pleasant time every time that we've gone in that restaurant. The local one that we just had this experience with this weekend, I won't be back.
Yeah.
Show them.
I'm just not interested in that.
Yeah.
And this is the second time that I've had issues. We were there a couple of weeks ago, and just watching the absolute lax cleanliness and the practices of wiping the table off. You still got all this crap on your hands. Now you're handling the menus that you just gave to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever clean these menus? Because you sure didn't clean your hands. Ooh. Yeah. Give me a napkin. I'll touch the menu.
Yeah, these COVID times have really made us think a little bit more, especially when people are handling stuff and cleaning tables and whatnot.
Well, it's like when we went to Carrabba's, we watched how they did everything.
Mm-hmm.
They handed us menus that had been printed onto single sheets of paper, and then they never asked for them back. So they didn't have to worry about it being clean.
Yep.
The waitress had her mask on over her nose and over her mouth the entire time. It wasn't pulled down on her chin. She's going, I got my mask on. No, she had it appropriately over her face. And they distance everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, there was probably half a dozen people in there, half a dozen tables where normally there would have been 20 or 30 of them. So, you can tell they were doing everything they could to keep us safe.
Yeah.
I'll get off my soapbox, I promise.
No, I mean, that's true. I mean, that goes along with what we were talking about in complacency, and now is the opportunity for restaurants and their employees to take some self-pride in what they do and make it that the customer wants to come back. And when they do, it's something that they can brag to their friends about. Oh man, this place, not that people are, I don't see people going, you know what? I was so impressed that they had their masks on the correct way and blah, blah. But if they don't, they'll talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we don't rave on all the good things, and that's just society. That's how we are. But we certainly will take note and call out the bad things. So if you have the opportunity to eliminate the bad things, take the opportunity.
Yeah. Do it.
I
mean, it's part of our human nature. If we have a great experience at a restaurant, we'll tell on average, and there's been actual research on this, you'll tell 2 to 3 people. If you have a bad experience, you will tell 10 to 15 people.
Yeah.
And you think about that, it's like, yeah, man, he spilled that all over my lap and he cussed at me and the attitude. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But the service was perfect. The food was, spot on. The waitress was very kind and gave good suggestions and never hovered over us, but our waters never got empty. Everything was taken care of. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Where's the excitement? And everything just went so nice. It was so smooth.
Yeah. It's just funny how we as a society are like that.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it is what it is. It happens.
And the restaurants that do it right consistently are the ones that survive.
Yeah, it's true. And again, now is the time to change the hearts of men and women. But the now is the time to change all that, and you can do it. You can do it.
It's amazing what the difference of just a couple of key people in a space can make.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I used to work with a guy that was easily one of the most negative people I've ever met. Just amazing. He would be the guy that you'd say, you know what? I'm going to give you $100 bill, free and clear. I'm just going to give it to you. he would complain that they're going to be hidden strings attached, and that it's now he's going to have to pay taxes on that, and now he has to go take the time to go spend it. It's like, I didn't have time to go spend it. I got all this other stuff. Dude, seriously, I just gave you $100. But I worked with him for a couple of years, and we were in one small office together. And after a couple of years, I didn't realize until I'd left just how negative I had become. Just being in that proximity, I had begun to absorb that negative attitude. So me getting out there changed me back to who I really supposed to be and who I tend to be, which is a more optimistic, kind of positive person to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you've got those negatives in your establishment, this is a time. I mean, why not use it as an opportunity? It's like we were talking about on Friday, Tim, looking for those silver linings. What can we do to better our situation?
Right on. Mm-hmm. I completely agree. Now that we are all off of our soapbox, and that I believe that it was a soapbox that needed to be stood on,
rotated amongst us.
Yep. And now speaking, Reverend Ray Morgan.
Tag team soapbox next on The Man Who Ate the Town.
Sunday.
Sunday's the day before it happens on Monday. The Man Who Ate the Town.
All right, let's do some food holidays in history. Today is the 20th of July. It is National Lollipop Day. Lollipops were first made in New Haven, Connecticut in 1908 by George Smith. They were named after a racehorse of the time named Lollipop.
Oh.
Lollipop.
Oh, lollipop.
That's about all I remember of the song.
Lollipop. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Oh, you do that very well. You could go on the road with that.
He's a one-man sound effects.
Yeah, that's
machine.
right. Yeah, I just do whatever comes out of my face. In 1801 on the 20th, I'm just going to stop right there.
It's best.
Yeah. Moving on. In 1801 on the 20th, the Massachusetts town of Cheshire pressed a 1,235-pound cheese ball and shipped it to be presented to the newly elected President Thomas Jefferson at the White House.
Wow.
1,200
pounds of cheese.
Yes.
I wonder how big that was.
2 times half as big.
Well,
I mean,
did it melt along the way?
I don't know.
I mean, cheese gets pretty heavy, like those big wheels of cheese.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
1,235 pounds.
Bigger than a bread box, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. And I believe wasn't Jefferson, he was the first president in the White House.
Right. Because we didn't have one for Washington.
Yeah. Washington and Adams were both in New York. I watched Hamilton this weekend, so I got the history lesson. I know it's not all 100%. I know it's not all 100% factual. I mean, it's based on actual. It's historical fiction, but some of that is correct. And so there was a compromise between Hamilton and Madison and Jefferson that they would let his finance plan go through if they moved the capital to Virginia, which they kind of got because DC is basically in Northern Virginia, but it's also a piece of Maryland and a piece of West Virginia. Well, at the time it wasn't West Virginia. So it was basically Maryland and Virginia gave up space for the District of Columbia. So that's not in Hamilton. That was just me. Yeah.
Hamilton cool.
Yeah, it was. It was great. Yes. I didn't like at the very beginning. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And then it made sense. So
it takes a moment or two to catch.
Yeah.
And then you're rolling.
That's right. In 1851, on the 20th, the first cheese factory in the United States to make cheese from scratch was started in Rome, New York, by Jesse Williams. He had his own dairy herd and purchased more milk from other local farmers to make his cheese. By combining the milk and making large cheeses, he could produce cheese with uniform taste and texture. Before then, companies would buy small batches of homemade cheese curd from local farmers to making the cheese, each batch of curds producing cheese with wide differences in taste and texture from one another. So Jesse Williams was able to pull it to where cheese, you knew what the cheese was going to taste like.
Interesting.
I love cheese.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. In 1934, a record high, talking about hot weather, a record high temperature for Iowa was recorded at a record high temperature. Oh, hold on. This says record high temperature, but it says, okay, I see. There's just a separator. I thought it was negative 118 degrees, but it is 118 degrees is what they recorded that in 1934. As before all this global warming started taking, well, you know, at least what we knew of global warming.
I can say I've been in 118 degree heat in Palm Springs, California, probably 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, that's hot. They say it's a dry heat. It's 118. It's still in the oven.
Yeah.
It's dry, but you're still in the oven.
Right. In 1969, on the 20th, 51 years ago, the first men on the moon. Neil Armstrong took one small step, followed by Edwin Buzz Aldrin, and they found no cheese. No green cheese. No
I'm still holding out hope that one day
they'll find cheese.
It's there.
Yeah, and also I want to wish another happy birthday today. Nobody on the show knows her, I'm sure, but my friend Shauna, I've known her since third grade. Today is her 49th. I'm going to call her out. She's younger than I am, so her 49th birthday. She's got a year for the big 5-0. I hit that in 4 months from today. So, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I'll still be here for that.
we're kind of planning on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just so you know.
Oh yeah. I ain't got time for death. I got too much shit to do. On the 21st of July, it's National Junk Food Day. I can go with it.
Yes.
Speaking
that's different from the rest of the days, only that we've officially named it as Junk Food Day.
That's right. There is nothing different of what I will eat. It'll just be in celebratory fashion.
Exactly.
Yeah, hey, look at this.
Yay, junk food.
On the 21st in 1873, it rained ants in Nancy, France. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. It just did.
Interesting. So Nancy has ants in her pants.
Yes. Nancy France has ants in her pants.
So how did the ants come out of the sky?
I don't know. I'm
or
pretty
her pants.
Or her pants. Yeah.
It's kind of where she's been. But that's a whole nother show.
Oh.
Did you hear about
Where's
Nancy
been?
Did you hear about
tales of Nancy and her pants?
Traveling tales of the Yaya. It was the Traveling Pants. What was it? Sisterhood. Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, or I don't know what that was.
I don't remember exactly how it goes. Traveling Pants was part of it.
Yeah. In 1904, on the 21st, the Trans-Siberian Railway was completed, linking European Russia with the Russian Pacific coast. For Russia, that's opposite of us. We think Pacific, we think west. For them, Pacific is right, east.
I'm going this way. Leah's going that way. Exactly.
In 1939, Joe Albertson opened a grocery store in Boise, Idaho. After numerous acquisitions, mergers, and reorganizations, by 2016, Albertson's Companies was the second largest supermarket chain in the United States with more than 2,200 stores. And I have to say, I have never heard of Albertson's grocery store.
Oh, I have been doing Albertsons, and it's a really nice shopping experience.
Is it?
Yeah. Put it up there. Take like Whole Foods and Fresh Market and Harris Teeter and Lowe's and Publix and put them all together and go up just a notch or so. And there you go.
Okay. Well, it sounds like
really, I saw them when I was in New York State.
Yeah.
They have a good presence there. Really nice grocery store chain. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And having grown up in Idaho and Nevada, it was Albertsons or Safeway. And so coming out here to the east, I was like, where are these grocery stores? They don't even exist. And we didn't know what Walmart was until I came to North Carolina. So
yeah,
they're all different all over the place.
20 years ago, I remember going in and you could get a beer and, a snack as you walk around through the grocery store. I mean, some of the stores here are starting to do that now. But they were doing it back then. And it was like, that's really cool. Why not have a beer while you're shopping? I mean, come on now. We can't all say that shopping is our most favorite experience, not the grocery store shopping.
I'm a big fan of grocery store shopping. However, right now.
But if you could have a beer.
Oh yeah. I mean, I would make it even better. I have always loved, doing grocery shopping, but right now is just a scary time. And, I don't, I went to a grocery store. So I've been using Tamika Wells Honeybee grocery shopping, service for the last 3 months. And we had to, 4th of July, the day before 4th of July, we had to go to Publix. And that was some of the scariest stuff because people just running up on top of you and not worrying about whether they're masked or not. And it's just, oh God, please step away. And it was, I'm so thankful for Tamika and, yeah.
Yeah. Some people, you want to look at them and go, you realize that if I can slap you, you're within 6 feet of me. Come here.
Yes.
Come a little bit closer. Wow.
Yes.
You're too close. Well, and so on the flip side, I'm not allowed to go grocery store shopping because I always end up bringing home the wrong thing.
Or just extras.
Or if we need cucumbers, I'll get the organic ones that are in the plastic wrap. I don't know what I'm doing. It was cucumber. I had to go and get butter for Mel one day, and I didn't realize that there was so many butters. I ended up calling her from in front of the butter station and being like, I don't know which one.
You want stick butter? Do you want whipped butter? Do you want butter in a tub?
Unsalted butter?
Unsalted? Do you want it with sea salt? Do you want it with cinnamon and sugar? Yeah, there's the varieties.
And sweat was coming out of my forehead, and I was panicking, and people were looking at me all crazy, and I was like, I can't go home with the wrong butter.
That's a country song somewhere. Panic in the butter aisle.
In the butter aisle, because I'll never hear the end of it if I get the wrong butter.
There was panic in the butter aisle last night.
Salted or unsalted, she did not know.
She had sweat upon her brow, trying to figure out how she was going to get that butter home.
What side is your bread buttered on? Oh, the difficult questions of life.
Difficult. So hard.
The cinnamon sugar butter, that's actually a really good one.
That exists?
Oh yeah,
Never heard of that either.
Land O'Lakes makes it. It's really good.
Maybe
Of course,
I
you can do the
should go
same thing
back.
at home. Just melt some butter and put some cinnamon and sugar in there and infuse it. My daughter did that this weekend with some herbs and garlic. She made some soft pretzels. And then we had this herb-infused butter to put with it. Oh, let me tell you, that's some good stuff right there.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You didn't have to go nowhere for it. It was right here.
In 1983, a new low record temperature was recorded in Vostok Station, Antarctica. It was minus 128.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ow. That's when your niblets freeze off.
Yes.
I mean, how do you even measure that? I mean,
Carefully.
I got this roller. It says it's cold as crap out, so we're going to call it 128 below.
This is a
128.
This is a temperature ruler right here. In 1988, an Indian Airlines Boeing 737 was charged by a bull while landing at Baroda Airport in Western India. The bull lost.
What?
And thus ended India's experiment of combining cattle fields with airports.
Oh, that poor bull. That's
Tearing eyeballs all over the pavement.
This is your captain
I'm
speaking.
just picturing the bull in the plane. It's just,
This is your captain
was it a jet?
speaking.
Was it a propeller?
That was a bunch of bull.
And it went there and there and there.
Oh man.
All right. In 1994, a smoking ban in restaurants and bars in Maryland began on the 21st. That was way ahead of its time because we didn't get that until much later. In
Should have been
2016,
much sooner.
yeah, you're right. In 2016, again with the heat or lack thereof, this time it is very much the heat. A record temperature of 129.3 degrees Fahrenheit was recorded in Kuwait. It is the highest temperature ever recorded in the Eastern Hemisphere.
See, we got the temperature ruler out again, and it's just hot as crap. So we're going to call it 129.3.
Yeah.
Point three. Don't forget the 0.3.
That's
The
right.
ruler was sweating.
Well, it kind of melted a little bit. It's warped now, but
That's
we'll
how
take
we
it
knew
back
that.
to Antarctica. It'll freeze right up.
That's how we knew it was a 0.3.
That's the bend.
On the 22nd, it is National Hot Dog Day.
Oh, hot dog.
It's National
Sorry, you just get them out.
Penuche Fudge Day. I don't know what Penuche Fudge, Penuche, Penuche.
Sounds dangerous.
It sounds like we have to go to Google.
Mr.
We're going to
Google.
have to figure that one out, right? Because
I mean, it has chocolate, so give it to Ray. Would you
All right.
write us a 5-page
So-
research
Okay.
paper on it?
spell it again.
It's okay. So, Penucha is how you say it. Penucci. That's it. Whatever. An Italian form of the word panucci. The fudge-like candy includes the following ingredients: brown sugar, butter, vanilla, and milk. Lighter in color than traditional fudge. Panucci tastes like maple thanks to the brown sugar. If you are looking to celebrate, many shops in New England sell that fudge. They will add pecans and other nuts. It looks really good. It's kind of like a blondie or a sandy or something, but it's made with instead of chocolate, it's made with brown sugar, butter, vanilla, and milk. Yeah. So it looks good. The picture that I saw looked really good. I'd take
I tried to find it, but I didn't spell it right.
Penuche. Penuche. It's also National Mango Day and Rat
love me some
Catchers
mangoes.
Day.
Rat catch.
Rat Catchers Day because in 1376, according to the legend, the Pied Piper got rid of all the ants in the German town of Hamelin. We had talked about this earlier because there were some conflicting reports of the date. When the townspeople refused to pay for him getting rid of the rats, then the Pied Piper led all the children away. The 22nd in 1376 is the date given by Richard Verstegen in 1605, the earliest version in English. In the Anatomy of Melancholy 1621, Robert Burton gives a date as June 20th, 1484. I think that's when I mentioned it last. And other dates range back to 1284 AD. On the 22nd in 1796, the city of Cleveland, Ohio was founded by General Moses Cleveland, that's spelled Cleave, Land, of the Connecticut Land Company. Incidentally, the word cleave, this is my Trivia Tim moment, the word cleave is the only word in the English language that is its own true antonym. Cleave, like in cleaver, means to split or have, cut in half. But also, cleave means to cling fast. So if you cling to one's breast, you cleave to one's breast, that means to come together. But also cleave means to split. So it's its own.
All about context.
That's right.
Interesting.
And another fun fact about Cleveland.
Yeah.
Is that's where I was born.
You were born
that
in
makes
Cleveland?
it a remarkable city.
Well, Cleveland rocks, right? And that's where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is too.
Mm-hmm.
In 1952, Frank L. Zybach of Strasburg, Colorado, received a patent for a self-propelled sprinkling irrigating apparatus. This is the now familiar center pivoting system that waters large circles of crops.
It was weird to think that those would actually work, but yeah.
Yeah, because water creates its own propulsion, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In 1957, Walter Frederick Morrison filed a design patent application for a plastic flying toy, which he sold under the name Pluto Platter. This was the basic design for the Frisbee. The patent was granted on September 30th, 1958. So in 2011, record high temperatures on the East Coast. Newark, New Jersey hit a record high of 108 degrees at 3 p.m. on the 22nd in 2011.
I mean, talking about all this heat, I might have to go upstairs and crank down the air conditioner just a few degrees.
And say, stay in the basement
and have
cooler.
Another
it is cooler
piece of
down
cake.
here. Another piece of cake.
It's too damn hot. Need some cake.
It's okay.
Hot.
And a popsicle.
And a popsicle at the same time. That will be a record.
Well, we move on to the 23rd of July, and it's National Vanilla Ice Cream Day.
Hey,
Well,
that's your favorite flavor.
well.
That is my favorite flavor of ice cream because you can do so much with it. It is there is a canvas basically for you to make your own masterpiece. It's also
You should try.
And yes, try to be as creative as possible with that. It's also National Refreshment Day. Whatever.
Well,
Before we get away from the ice cream, I had to say, I apologize, Tim. I
Okay.
got it wrong. We were talking about basil ice cream a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and you said something about basil having a hint of licorice in the scent.
Yeah.
I was like, no, it doesn't. We're growing some basil. I crushed it. I smelled it. I was like, damn, that's licorice.
Yeah. It's got that anise flavor. I mean, that's what gives licorice. It's not basil, but anise. And that is from the same,
It's a little different than just straight out licorice, but
Yeah.
there's definitely an undertone in the flavor of the basil that has that licorice scent. I was like, I did not know. I was wrong.
so
I
that's
said
why.
I should apologize to Tim. Now that I remembered, I have, and I'm done now. I'm off my box.
So you can crush some of this basil and put it in some vanilla ice cream.
Yes, and I probably will.
Basil
Or I
or
could put it in my spaghetti sauce, which is really good too.
yeah, but ice cream, man.
Ice cream. It is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day.
Well, and if you go to one place in town, you can get some vanilla ice cream with the Sunkist, and that's just some good stuff too.
Mm.
You can also do that with Cheerwine.
That too. See?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to go do that this week. Yeah.
The horror.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to be dessert week again.
Might be good on a hot day.
Yeah, well, that you have plenty of those this week. In 1903, on the 23rd, Ford Motor Company sold its very first car, a Model A. In 1904, the ice cream cone was invented. Charles E. Mencius invented the ice cream cone for his customers' convenience at the St. Louis World's Fair, the Louisiana Purchase Exhibition. This is only one account of that. There are several other candidates, but this is the one that happened on this week. In 1964, Leroy and Forrest Raffel opened their first restaurant in Boardman, Ohio, serving only roast beef sandwiches, potato chips, and a beverage. So, like Bee Gees, which stands for what? Anyone? Bueller? Like the band Bee Gees? It stands for Brothers Gibb.
Oh,
Because Barry, Maurice, and Robin Gibb, they were the Bee Gees.
I'm betting you're going to tell us this is a place with a hat.
It is. Raffel Brothers named their restaurant after themselves. So Arby's is Arby's. So that's where the name comes from. So people are like, who's Arby? It's
nobody.
It's RB. In 1975.
ARBY.
That's right. In 1975, Canada bans the Soviet Union's Atlantic Fleet from Canadian ports for overfishing quotas. And incidentally, 7 years later, the International Whaling Commission voted to ban commercial whaling, period, beginning with the 85-86 season. So no whaling there. On the 24th, it's National Tequila Day. I like it. Tequila. It's National Drive-Through Day.
Oh.
So drive through and get your tequila.
You wish we could do that here? If we could privatize the ABC stores, we talked about that last week. If we could privatize that would be a whole lot easier, I think, on the state economy. It would, there's a lot of stuff I could say there. I think we've used the soapbox a lot today. I'm just going to put that away.
I used to live in Tennessee, and we didn't have, there's an ABC board, I think, in every state.
There needs to be.
The state did not run the retail.
Yeah. There's a difference between regulation and owning it.
Right. And, you could go just about anywhere in town and get whatever kind of drink you wanted. And there were several places where you could pull through. They'd ask whatever you want. They'd load it in your trunk, your back seat, up in the van, whatever. You just drive through, pick it up, and right on your way.
Go.
Yeah. They were super convenient.
On the 24th in 1910, the first publication of the Paul Bunyan stories of oral folklore by James McGillivray in the Detroit News Tribune happened. A mythical hero of giant proportions who had an appetite to match his size. His camp stove had a griddle that was greased by men with sides of bacon strapped to their feet.
I remember those stories. Babe the Blue Ox.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But bacon strapped to your feet? Like
whole sides of bacon.
Yeah.
Not a strip of bacon, but a big old thing of bacon.
Yeah.
Because you got to know, Paul Bunyan was taller than the pine trees.
Yeah.
He's a big old guy. He ate big pancakes. Big pancakes.
Let's see. In 1935, the temperature in Chicago reached 109 degrees. Again, more heat.
Hot enough for you?
In 1936, the Army Subsistence Research Laboratory opened. It was devoted solely to developing foods for the Army. One of its first products was the Logan Bar, used in the Army's emergency D ration. In 1938, on the 24th, Nestle introduced Nescafe instant coffee in Switzerland.
Really not much good for Nescafe unless you're putting it like you want to make chocolate into mocha. Put a little of this instant coffee in there. It's about the only thing it's good.
Now, you know those international coffees, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jean-Luc.
They came in the little tins, and you paid way out the nose for them.
Yeah, that or Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa went well on vanilla ice cream.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hadn't tried that.
Yes.
Now, Swiss Miss, get you a nice, good-sized cup of coffee. Just pour the whole pack of Swiss Miss down in there and stir it up and drink it. It's
Swiss Miss Instant Cocoa. In 1988, a world's record largest milkshake was created in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, weighing more than 54,914 pounds.
That was more milkshake than we talked about cheese earlier.
Yes, the shake, much more. The shake used 44,689 pounds of ice cream, 9,688 pounds of syrup, and 537 pounds of topping.
I mean, is that like the size of a pool or something?
I don't know.
22 tons of ice cream.
Was this like they have one of those big shake glasses, those glasses, a big one with lots of straws coming out of it for everybody.
Yeah, that's gross.
Fire hose coming out the other end.
You know, one thing I've never done when we talk about this is actually go try to find a picture of these large ass things, and I would like to see how they did do it, and how did they weigh it? Because if they were estimating, they would say it was 54,000 or 55,000 pounds, but they go specifically to say 54,914 pounds.
Well, if you're putting in tubs of ice cream, you know exactly how much those weigh and how many you put in.
Yeah, but
the toppings would be the same thing. It's like, here's a pound of walnuts. That's 1 pound.
Right. But there's gotta be some give or take, because they're not going to measure every thing of ice cream. They're not going to measure. I mean, even the toppings, 537 pounds of it. How do they know it was 537 pounds?
Why? You sure it's not 38? Or 25.
Right. Yeah, anyway,
I don't think you should go and look up the pictures, because our imagination is just so much.
This is probably
more
true.
Better than any
it's much
picture.
More vivid.
Yeah,
because I think you'd be disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
But I'm still trying to picture how do you.
What do they put in it?
Of ice cream.
It's a big soda fountain glass. A big soda fountain glass, the biggest one you can find.
How do they make that?
We're not talking about that right now. We're not. No, it was in it.
Yeah, that's.
Wait, do you use a cement mixer? You put it in one of those.
That's 27.5 tons. Jeez.
If you do the math.
That's a.
Yeah, I don't.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I guessed at it, but
You didn't weigh it? What?
No.
And how much vanilla ice cream?
I guess if you're going to go for world record, you better know precisely what you put in it.
But still,
come with this. Guinness comes with the largest ass scale that they have made ever.
Well, and,
The biggest bathroom scale in recorded history. Let me just slide this up underneath there.
and and this is in July, and even though it's in Canada, it's in July.
It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot.
That ice cream's not going to stay frozen in there. And how long does it take them to put it in there?
I mean, did they do this like in one of the ice hockey arenas?
I don't know.
Because they do have those up there.
Well,
So
yes,
maybe
they
you could
do.
it there and it'd be cold.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey,
Hey,
poser.
Hoser.
they
What's
put
up,
the
Hoser?
big soda glass in the middle of the hockey. Was that court
Rink.
Yeah.
field?
Rink. Yes.
Rink. Rinky dink.
And then they had a guy on a ladder.
There's a guy repelling from the roof.
Throwing the ice cream in. You know how the balloons come down in arenas? Well, it was big blocks of ice cream.
It's big soft serve. They have a big soft serve machine at the top where the Titantron is. It's just dropping ice cream down into this.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Exactly. Fill up the rink, boys. Fill up the rink. Oh, better stop. We're almost to the top. All right, everybody, get your cup. Go dip it in there. Get you some ice cream.
On the 24th in 2004, weighing in at 416 pounds, Giovanna Giordoni became Italy's 16th Miss Cicciona, which translates into Miss Chubby. And for Colli, Italy, contestants must weigh more than 220 pounds to enter the contest.
Okay.
That's a cool contest, I guess, for a big girl.
Yeah, 416 pounds she weighed.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
She must have helped drink the sundae, and then she was late.
Yeah.
She was celebrating National Vanilla Ice Cream Day, moved into the milkshake, and
And
now she's
lollipops.
won another prize.
Lollipops.
Lollipops.
Yeah, that's it. On the 25th, it's National Hot Fudge Sundae Day.
Oh.
The Hot Fudge Sundae was supposedly created in 1906 at C.C. Brown's, a new ice cream parlor on Hollywood Boulevard in Los Angeles. It's also Culinarian's Day. My son sent me a picture of his
Because culinarian?
he made something. He made something in school today, I guess. It was a steak of some sort, but damn, it looked good.
I got to say, that's not where my mind went.
I
He
think
made
it was-
something in school today, and it's this nice little drawing, and it's mommy and daddy in the house. We're going to put it on our refrigerator.
Lemon yellow sun, arms raised in a V.
It's going to be
It's National Wine and Cheese
in pools of maroon below.
Yes, that's a great song. It's a sad song, but a great song. It's also National Wine and Cheese Day.
Oh, yes, I'm behind that. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Who's got the wine? We know who has the cheese.
On the 25th in 1872, it is reported to have rained black worms in Bucharest, Romania. Yeah.
Was that leftover from the ant rain?
I don't know. Ants were where? Where are the ants? Where did I
in your
say?
pants.
That's right. In France.
It's in Nancy Francis' pants.
Nancy
France.
France. That's Nancy France.
Fancy France.
Yeah.
Nancy Francis' pants.
So that's all I have for the 25th. On the 26th, it's National Coffee Milkshake Day. We talked about that earlier, or at least in the pregame, I think. It's also Parents' Day, which is the fourth Sunday of July. Established in 1990.
Mother's Day or Father's Day. This is just generic.
Yeah,
Parents.
it was established in 1994 by President Bill Clinton.
Because that's what we needed.
Yep.
Was Parents' Day.
Yep.
That was an important policy plank in his platform. I'm really glad to see he fulfilled that.
Yeah. It's according to what is.
The definition of is
On 7/26 in 1926, Roquefort cheese is the first cheese designated with an appellation of d'origine contrôlée, which means that only cheese that has been processed in Roquefort, France, and aged in caves there may be called Roquefort cheese. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So, but I think it was a different cheese. This one's Roquefort. I think the other one was, what's the other blue cheese?
there's another blue cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we talked about another one. Yeah.
I thought it was just blue cheese.
No.
No.
Gorgonzola, maybe.
Might have been. Yeah.
It doesn't come from that area. You don't get to call it that.
Gorgonzola, France. I think.
No, Gorgonzola is Italian.
Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm not allowed to go to the grocery store, obviously.
And I haven't been allowed to go to Europe yet, so I haven't experienced it yet. I just don't know.
Yeah. I don't remember which one. We talked about another one. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. Food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler of foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, think about how damn hot it is outside, want to have all these cold treats, and really, how the hell do they make a 27.5 ton milkshake?
It was delicious, though. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, yeah, I'll have another one.
Jeez. The Man Who Hates Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Department 5B, Beeswax, Final and More, Sipping NC, Wheeler's Dog, and Asylum Tales of the Devereaux Diary podcast. You can also find all these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links to each one there as well. We greatly appreciate if you visit our sponsors like the Humblebee Shop located at 1003 Oakwood, Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Yeah, Brookstown Avenue. You have not had good until you've tasted the treats and goodies that Brittany is whipping up in her shop, be it muffins, cakes, macarons, and more. Many things vegan and gluten-free as well. The Humblebee Shop wants to challenge your perception of scratch made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit thehumblebeshop.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
Washington Perk and Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk, a chip corner, a deli to get your sandwich on the go, local fruits and veggies, meats and dairy from local sources, Bingo Bango sodas, Wolfie's custard, a wall of beer and wine, and much, much more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk or at Washington Perk _DTWS on Instagram. And Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road. And this is no chain. This is a responsible family of restaurants. Carrabba's and their owner partners take the communities they serve very seriously. Like I said, it's in their charter, so they have to. And
it's
for
the
us,
first thing you see when you walk in.
That's true. And
there's that big picture hanging there of all the places that some of the places that he's been.
And for us, having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's on social media and on Carrabba's.com. This is a reminder to all the listeners, and it's just good practice, not just now, but for always, wash your damn hands. Wash with warm water and soap. Wash with soap for 20 seconds or more. Continuously wash them. Sing your favorite song. How about Lollipop? Sing all the way through Lollipop about 4 times, and that'll get you through your.
Lollipop.
It's hard to put. It's hard to put your mouth in your mouth when you're got them soap. So don't do the part. Yeah.
Might be slippery.
Yeah.
If you can't figure out how long 20 seconds is, Wash your hands 3 times.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. So time doesn't matter if you just do it. Do it. Well, keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news or happenings, send us an email, Tim or Leah or Ray at themanwhoatetown.com. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are Man Who Number 8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast, actually any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422 number. Leave us a voicemail number and number. Leave us a voicemail at that number, and we'll play on the podcast. Again, it's 336-422-NUM or 6862. Well, my name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
And I'm Leah.
And we're closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Yamas.
Yamas.
The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.